Hello everybody. Today is February 6, 2019. I am in Greenpoint, Brooklyn now, and I'm about to walk into the neighborhood of Williamsburg. Right now it is about 44 degrees Fahrenheit and it is 5 o'clock p.m. So where I started was Manhattan Avenue and Bedford Avenue. In the next block I'll be crossing over into the neighborhood of Williamsburg. So Williamsburg was originally land held by the Native American Indians, and the Dutch East Indian Company purchased the land from the Indians. It eventually was incorporated as the town of Bushwick. So this area's name was not always known as Williamsburg, it was Bushwick. So the area which would become Williamsburg was called Bushwick Shore, and Bushwick Shore was named because it was on the shore of Brooklyn with very easy access to Manhattan. And because of the ease of access to Manhattan, it enables many people to open up companies along the shoreline, farmland and trading ports to trade with the rich community of Lower Manhattan. So Bushwick Shore actually had some development early on, and there was a person who sent this guy Williams out to survey the property. So Williams, he surveyed this estate and they named it Williamsburg in his honor with an H at the end. So Williamsburg was known as Williamsburg with an H. It was called the village of Williamsburg within the town of Bushwick. And as time went on, Bushwick and Williamsburg, they had two separate identities. Williamsburg became larger and actually separated from Bushwick with the town of Williamsburg, and then it became its own city. So the city of Williamsburg was created along with Bushwick, and New York City actually incorporated Williamsburg eventually into its area. So to the left of me is McCarran Park. McCarran Park is actually two separate parks. Well, I should say two separate sections that make up one park. Each section has its own distinct features. I'll be walking down Bedford Avenue, which is a very important street in Williamsburg. This here is the Automotive High School. That's a very interesting vehicle he got into. The steering wheel is on the right side. Normally vehicles have their steering wheels on the left. So here's McCarran Park. There's a baseball field over there, as well as a nice walking path. And this is the other side of McCarran Park. Here's a tennis center. Which is indoors, by the way. Probably a good thing because it's about to rain soon. I hope I don't get caught in the rain before this video is over. So Williamsburg's had a long history. It was originally farmland, then it became more industrial and more industrialized, and it became a trading port. Then from the trading port, it became more commercial, and then it was known as an industrial area for a long time, up until I'd say the 1980s, early 1990s or so. And then there was a thriving art scene here. The art scene actually developed because people from Manhattan in the neighborhoods of Soho and Tribeca got priced out, and they moved across the river to Williamsburg. So as a result, Williamsburg had a different kind of culture and atmosphere to it. It attracted a lot of artsy people and different kinds of businesses that you wouldn't normally see. So as more and more residents came in, Williamsburg became known as the hipster town. And in about 2 blocks, I'll be entering the heart of Williamsburg, of North Williamsburg anyway. There are different sections of Williamsburg. There's North Williamsburg, South Williamsburg, and East Williamsburg. I'll only be doing North Williamsburg here. South Williamsburg is the part of Williamsburg that's south of the Williamsburg Bridge, which connects Brooklyn to Manhattan. And East Williamsburg has differing borders depending on where you look at it, but if you go by the Brooklyn-Queens Expressway, that's a safe bet that anything east of that is East Williamsburg. So there's very nice architecture at the across the street where I'm looking at. Right now it is the middle of a weekday, and it's also in the middle of the winter, so there's not as many people walking here as if it's on a nice sunny day in the springtime or the summertime especially. This area can get really lively during those times, but it's still interesting nonetheless. As you can see, there's a big creative scene in Williamsburg. A fashion company is in that garage. Well, I wouldn't say garage, but building. There's also many music venues and concerts here and all kinds of creative works. There's a nice mural there, "Fight for Street Art," because there is a war on street art in the city. Many people see it as a nuisance, but there's many who want to preserve it. There's a lot of restaurants here which are just starting to open up and accept customers. During most of the day, they don't really have too many people until people come home from work around after 5 o'clock or so. There's Walk to Walk, very creative business name. Cycling is a big proponent of Williamsburg also. You can see if you bring your own bike, it's very difficult to even find a parking space. Cycling is a big part of the culture here in Williamsburg and in other parts of Brooklyn. And across the street from me is the entrance to the Bedford Avenue L train station. The L train was supposed to shut down in April for 18 months to allow for the MTA, who runs the subways, to repair the tunnel and tubes because of all the damage that was caused by Hurricane/Superstorm Sandy. But our governor unveiled a plan which will keep the tunnel intact and replace the bench wall and route the cables on the exterior of the tunnel, which sounds like an ambitious plan and it has many critics, but at least the tunnel isn't shut down for all these residents. It's a very important train link. Now, if you see on the outside of that building, I guess that would be considered street art, but I can see why, if you were living there or a community member here, how it would bother you. So, a lot of businesses here. Here's New York Muffins, which is closed for a while now. Even though L train won't be shutting down, there's going to be lots of problems because there's diversions on nights and weekends with one track in operation and shuttle buses. So we'll see how that all handles out, or plays out, I should say.
Yeah, I'm still stops running at like.
So there's a lot of people up ahead of me. Many of them go up there to shop at the Whole Foods, which just recently opened up, I'd say 3 years ago. Here's Joe's Pizza, which is very, very delicious. Some vintage clothing places. Here's a very interesting property with many businesses inside, including a tattoo shop and some more eating places. There's the B62 bus, which goes to Long Island City. And here's the Whole Foods Market, which I just told you about. Many people joke about Whole Foods and they call it whole paycheck. Although Amazon, which owns Whole Foods now, is trying to change that opinion and stereotype against them. Many people disagree on what the exact definition of a hipster is. It could be trendy, it could be sporty, it could be grunge or certain type of fashion, but that's always up for debate. Many people even get offended if you call them a hipster. So here's Duane Reade, and the Apple store is across the street from me. I've seen that store much more busy. Here's Metropolitan Avenue, which is a major through street in Williamsburg that goes east to west. And across the street from me is a New York City Parks and Recreation Center. There's also a swimming pool inside, which is very beneficial for the residents here. Here's a plot of land for sale. If you're ever thinking of owning property in Williamsburg, you can contact them. There is a lot of work to be done though. There's some abandoned property inside the lot there. Here is Grand Street, which is also another very important street, very wide street. There's a taiyaki Japanese ice cream store. Many food places here get very creative with their ideas, and because of the artsy culture of the neighborhood, people are willing to try different things. That's what makes the area successful. So off in the distance there are some skyscrapers being built along the waterfront. I didn't walk on the waterfront in this video, but I can tell you it's changing very rapidly. There's a two-way bike lane there. There's new buildings being built up, and a lot of events coming towards the waterfront, like concerts and Smorgasburg, which is an outdoor food event slash market that has many stands and attracts a lot of people during the summer. Even this far down in Williamsburg on Bedford Avenue, it's hard to get a spot for bike parking. Look at that. It's really only one vacant spot you can take on that rack. This bicycle looks mutilated. The handlebars are missing. Bike theft is very common in New York City. You need to be prepared and lock up everything that you don't want stolen. Like that person's seat. There's a city bike station, which is the city's bike share system. It's very affordable if you buy the annual membership for $169, and you get unlimited rides. Although each ride is limited to 45 minutes in length each way. So in front of me is the Williamsburg Bridge, and there's a subway crossing across it. The J, M, and Z trains go over the bridge. The Z train only runs on rush hours. It is raining a little bit, but not enough for me to take out an umbrella or to bring out a poncho or anything. Now this path here is the bicycle path. The pedestrian path entrance is actually on Bedford Avenue, underneath the Williamsburg Bridge. It's important while jaywalking here that you look out for bicycles as well. Here's the Williamsburg Bridge pedestrian path. It's very, very hard to spot if you don't know where it is. And here is Broadway. This is Brooklyn's Broadway. It's also a very important street, a very through street. I'm going to be walking up Broadway to the J, M, and Z subway station, and I just slipped on some uneven pavement. don't want to be walking in this rain for very long, and it's such a short distance that I don't feel that it's justified to take out an umbrella. I will wipe the lens though, because I don't know how much water accumulated. Now this building that's lit up is the Williamsburg Savings Bank, what used to be the Williamsburg Savings Bank. Here's the famous Peter Luger Steakhouse. Right now it is restaurant week in New York City. I'm not sure if they still have restaurant week in that steakhouse, but it's a special deal in the city where you can get a 3-course meal for a very low price. And this sidewalk is very uneven. Here's a J train making its way towards the Marcy Avenue Subway Station. As you can see, it's full of passengers. Just came out of Manhattan and they're all going home or doing things they need to do. Now directly in front of me is the Williamsburg Bridge bus plaza. Very important transit hub. Right now it's 5:30 and 37 degrees Fahrenheit. The temperature sure drops dramatically since the start of this video. So I'm about to enter the J, M, and Z train station at Marcy Avenue. It's a little bit of a walk from Bedford Avenue, but it's really the only option here other than taking the bus if you want public transportation. It's also pretty far from the bus plaza. So this is the Marcy Avenue Subway Station, and this concludes my walking video of North Williamsburg. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay safe, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. I gotta catch a subway now.